Hello, scholars. Great to see you here at Module 1. The Module 1 is sort of an overview of everything we're going to do in this. In fact, when you see the modules revealed to you in the next few weeks, or maybe even today, you will see that, oh, these are the actual module headings. And I kind of want to let you know what we're going to do, what we're talking about. In some cases, if you're in a class that's not this one and you need help on something that's here, go ahead and ask me about it. I'll be glad to help you out with any sort of research you're doing currently and help you out with library resources or anything you need. But this is the order that I'm going to be going in. Of course, Module 1 is about, this is the video. Google search is not academic level search. It is a great place to buy shoes, fantastic place to find mascara, and a really great way to search for how-to videos. But in terms of academic level research, did you know that sometimes people never ever, when I say people, I mean most people, never get past the first page of search results? Now, what kind of project or research is that if you never ever lift yourself off the first page of search results? That means there's a lot of papers and presentations out there that are remarkably similar, the same, lack depth, lack diversity, lack intellectual rigor. Yes, intellectual rigor is an awesome thing. I hope so. Also hope you like my red herring. So when you're going through this piece, look at what I'm telling you and talking about and trying to talk to you about in terms of research. Research is not a thing, it's not a one and done. And it's a horrifying thing that Google has introduced, while introducing us to so many wonderful things, is that you just don't keep going. You need to keep going past the search results. You need to read the search results to find other things to look for, things to bounce off of and go into further. Search process is recursive. That means that you go back, you repeat. It's not a straight path. It's a total, absolute zigzag, my scholars. Totally, absolutely a zigzag. So, I want you to feel that process and know that that is the dance we're doing with the research. In fact, every week now you're going to be doing and looking for at least one source for your final project. You may not use it. You may use something mentioned in it. It may give you another idea. It is not one and done. Also, Google is amazing. It does have two things that I really, really like, and we're going to look at that. One is Google Advanced Search, which is totally money, and it's going to strip out the places where you get stuck in this information bubble, where you can go out and find the things you need. Alternately, there's Google Scholar, and guess what? I have it set up so you can find those things full text in the library resources. If you've ever used it before, you probably wondered what it was about. Like, why do I have this place that does not give me full text? Guess what? It actually does. And it also does a host of other things for you. There's a term called, a phrase called citation searching, and it's something we're going to be introduced to in this course. Occasionally I want to talk about my dad. My dad loved to fish. My dad specifically loved to fish in places that had no trespassing signs. Yes, now you know something about my childhood. However, I just want you to know the library has eliminated the no trespassing signs. Have you ever been doing some research and you hit a paywall and it wants money for an article? You just like click on full text. It wants $40 for an article. This is, by the way, absolutely the most perfect article for your research, and this has happened to you. Guess what? The library removes the no trespassing sign. It takes away the paywall. And if you use our databases, you can find the items that are full text. You can usually take pieces from what you're looking for, put it in there, and find that article. I want to mention, of course, that we have the library catalog, which is what our most used thing. That's the physical holdings of the library, which are now kind of locked away from us. And it's also maybe 20 of the databases. We have 100, by the way. Sorry, that just drifted right up there. Also, we have databases A to Z. We have 100, like I said. When you go away to the next college, they may have 500 to 700. So I want you to feel very, very comfortable about being able to get around these types of resources. Also, we have top ones. Our top ones are ProQuest, Academic Search Premier, and Opposing Viewpoints. To some degree, you could use these three of the 100 to get through most of your courses here at Big Bend Community College. So I'm going to really make sure you know about those, and also the specialty ones as well. This is an augmented screenshot of the library's webpage. So if you can come in here, you can kind of click on those and read what that's about. And it's really important because I want you to avoid this penalty. Player provided, no source. That's a very sad, sad thing in a world where there are so many. I included this because it's beautiful, and I want you to know you matter, your work matters, and you never ever know who you may influence and what you may change by simply doing research and sharing that research. This is what a search strategy looks like. We're going to go through this in great detail. I want you to look at this video. It's about developing a research question. You're actually going to be doing this particular week or the next week. We'll see how this works. I haven't put in the deadlines yet, and I will. Because you can't write about COVID, sometimes I say COVID-19, impact. You would take the rest of your life. But you can write about COVID-19 and prolonged exposure. Does it make it more fatal or not? You can write about business, rebuilding economic health. You can write about fashion. What has been the impact of COVID-19 in fashion on people in New York, locally? People who are artists that don't do art shows. I say from personal experience, by the way. But we can't do the big piece. So one of the first things we're going to do, we're absolutely working on COVID-19. You need to determine how you're going to narrow that down and what that project is going to look like. And if you don't know what that is, please take the time to read this and you'll be able to do that project with great ease. Now, understand this, it doesn't have to be right the first time. Just like research is recursive, like what you're doing also may repeat, may change, and again, the most holy zigzag may be your path, and it's okay. We're going to talk about source types. One of the things I keep saying probably is databases is going to drive you crazy. But what a database is something you already use. It's a collection of electronic documents. These could be prints, they could be videos, they could be ebooks, all types of things. Already, you're using Netflix, Hulu, probably Pluto, maybe Audible, and podcasts. Yes, those are databases. They have a search. They have things organized in a certain way. Sometimes they have subject headings. And when they're working at the level of Netflix, when you find one thing that you love, they'll tell you about other things that you might love. So databases are the same way. Some of them are fantastic and helpful, and some of them are like Pluto, where there's a lot of information and you can't really get a grasp on what it is and what it is you actually need. So we'll talk about that throughout the process of working on this class. I absolutely need you to read about echo chambers and confirmation bias. One of the things you'll wonder probably loudly and to me a great deal, and possibly your other instructors, you'll ask, why am I using library resources? Why are you demanding this of me when I am the guru of Google? Well, echo chambers are one of the reasons. It kind of takes you out of that space. There are also other reasons. You actually have to pay for these in the real world. If you've ever hit the paywall, you can realize that could be very, very expensive. Right now, you're getting to use these subscription services for free. We're going to talk about keywords so much it's going to perhaps drive you mad. But this is very important. This is what drives your research. Once you get your set of keywords and ideas and concepts down, it's going to be wonderful. I'm going to go over this in great detail further on, but I just kind of put a little taste of it right out here for you. Evaluating resources, we're going to do 3 different kinds. CRAP test, which you might have seen already. The SIFT test, which is, remember when I asked you about what detective you wanted to be? The SIFT test demands you, the consumer of information, to be a detective, to look into what this information is, who's providing it, and what they're doing. That's right. It's a little bit of stalking. Intellectual stalking, but stalking nonetheless. Additionally, we're going to look at it in terms of who, what, when, where, why, and how. So hopefully what this will provide you is not just a way to find information, evaluate the information, but when you're working on your annotations, you're using these concepts to build your annotations. So they're very clever, very useful, and they're frameworks. And what they do is kind of While you might remember part of this, you might forget to look at authority or worry about purpose or, look at relevancy or currency in great detail. And documentation and avoiding plagiarism. You may have already taken the plagiarism test right now as a pre-test. We're going to go over it a little bit because it is a danger point. There could be significant consequences for plagiarizing. And many times a student doesn't actually intend to do so. It's an accident. So we're going to try to work on a few techniques and ideas that will keep you away from that. One of the most major ways to avoid it is to make sure your citations and references are in order. As part of the big final project, you'll have references. You'll understand how to build an APA 7th edition reference. Also use in-text citations. And this will help build your authority and help protect you from any acts of plagiarism because you're attributing your work. So we're going to go down a little further. So I just want you to review that. And we're probably getting to the final parts. Yes, the Trinity Plagiarism quiz. Make sure you take that. You have I just need you to complete it. You don't need to have actual information going into it. It's sort of a pre-test. And finally, I want you to do Module 1. You're going to start working on your final project. It's scaffolding, so I want you to go ahead. We know it's going to take 15 keywords. I just want you to identify 3 this week. That sounds nice, right? I need to know your topic, your main focus, your topic stated as a question, kind of work on that. If you want to download this, you can fill it in or you can copy paste this as you would like to do so. Also, I want you to go in and do a search. I want you to use PubMed. Now, PubMed is a collection. It's not like a Google search because they've gone out and found the information that they want you to search, and they've identified it. So it already has like a higher level of vetting than Google. It is specific to health and medicine issues. Sometimes it is full text or not. Sometimes you can't get to the full text. I want you to try to find something you can find the full text to, and it should be on the upper right-hand side. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I need you to find the authors, the date published, the title, the name of the journal, issue number, volume number, page numbers, beginning to end, if they're available. The digital object identifier, DOI, is what it'll look like, or the URL for the article. And right now, just 2 sentences detail why this article may be useful for your research question. And with that, you will begin approximately 1/8 of your final project. I hope this overview is helpful. If you have questions, please reach out to me.